I stopped saying the N-word. I grew up saying it. It has to roll off your tongue. And if it don't roll off your tongue, it ain't you. I stopped saying it because I think that if any one person is offended by it, why not just let it go? Use another word, whatever. Especially if it doesn't come from your natural culture. But Blue Devil don't really like that. So, but he was respectful and he told him, if your people mess with it, then it should be fine, bro. It matters if you mess with it, if you're friends with it. Who cares what the internet thinks? Who cares what other people think? You gotta worry about, your people, bro. And your people think it's dope, then you're fine. You know what I mean? And the other thing is we are very sensitive people. You know what I mean? Even me sometimes, though. I don't know. I think that definitely in his passing, we should give the Vato a pass. But definitely they were on No Jumper, Brick Baby and Almighty Suspect trying to threaten Lush. Lush was being a little bit wild by saying like, oh, it must be AI, or basically being an apologist. There's a lot of people when they're racist, there's a lot of people that will apologize for them. They're called apologists. And they're basically trying to make excuses for them. You could even say this video is an apologist video for Sucker Free, but I don't think so. I'm trying to take a somewhat analytical, fun look at this idea that if a young brown kid saying the N-word in his music, growing up with blacks, having conflict with blacks, and talking about his frustrations on the mic, being disrespectful, as gang members tend to do, bro. These fools are not church boys, you know what I mean? And so it's just a trip that a rolling 60s guy and another guy that grew up in Inglewood would be tripping that hard on Lush for defending Sucker Free. He basically, shout out to Lush for saying, man, I'll pay for the song to not be played, because basically what happened was on No Jumper, this is the last thing, on No Jumper, somebody paid $100 for the song, very disrespectful to black people, from Sucker Free's side, to play that song so that they would hear it while they're reacting to music. And they're black guys, right? So they hear the song and it's not cool. They're not happy about it. And they start tripping on Lush for apologizing for it. So in one way, I get it. But Lush was trying to say, I'll pay to not have it on, because I'm not trying to defend him, but it's tacky. It is tacky to play that song, go off on that song, and go off him about that song when he can't defend himself. So salute to Lush for trying to defend himself and almost getting packed out, which I actually don't think he would have ever got packed out, since he's already got packed out by a suspect with one hitter quitter, man. I don't think that he was fighting for a long time. I think that was like a real quick, he ran up and Sus got him. But anyway, man, please, Sucker Free is not a racist. One last thing, you can't be a racist when you're oppressed, when you're the person dealing with racism. Racism is a tool used by rich people to separate and divide and isolate other races. I'm going to put a definition because I ain't nobody to tell you what racism is, but this is what racism is if you looked it up, right? And I just think that, and they do talk about this, people of color can be prejudiced, but we can't be racist, because racism has to come from a place of power and privilege. Power and privilege. And sadly, no matter how tough Sucker 104 was, he did not have real power, and he had almost no privilege and almost no way to make it, sadly, become another number in the sick cycle of just meat grind trauma that goes so far and dominates our lifestyles for so long. When will we say basta, that we don't want? So this video is just to say that this kid was caught in a struggle. Let's not judge him. Like Tupac said, man. Like Tupac said, one is he's not racist because he doesn't have any power. But like Tupac, these roses that grow from concrete, we start to judge, how they're planted, how the stem is twisted and how their petals aren't perfect. But look at what they're growing up. Concrete with but they still have the resiliency to reach the effing sky. So don't judge my petal. Honor my resiliency to reach the sky and reach the sun, i.e. our dreams and what we're here to do. And Sucker 104 didn't get to fully live out his dreams, but he will be remembered by his family, his community, the hip-hop community, and our world. And I just want to lastly say, because I don't want to make another video on the Vato, I want him to rest. Stop saying dead homies, let the homies rest. Stop saying dead homies, let the homies rest. Let Sucker Free rest. That Vato was a warrior for his community, for his family. He was a victim of envy, and he deserves better from, like he deserved better from the world, and maybe he would have never made that song in the first place. This is your boy Pocho, one of the podcast. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and support a real one in the field, and let me know if you think Sucker Free is a real racist or not. We can talk about this. It's okay. Try to understand what racism is, and that people of color and poor people really can't be racist. White privilege, and you're poor, you're white, you can be, but poor people of color can be racist. They can be prejudiced. He could have had some prejudice at a very young age, when most men's frontal cortex is fully do better. Let the brother, for us to see and fight another. And again, to all the homies, live for your hood, don't die for it. This is your boy Pocho One of the Pocho Life Podcast.